Hi guys, this is the first review from our Season 2 reviews at OnWheelsTV, already with some changes that were announced some days ago in a specific post at OnWheelsTV. The link to that post is published also where this video will be allocated at OnWheelsTV, and you will be able to read more about it if you want to. So we are now introducing a rating in our reviews based on several areas that we create our opinion on, and we vote from a level of 1 to 5 in those specific areas, and you can see about that voting at OnWheelsTV in the post where each of these videos is allocated. So the video is on YouTube, but is also at OnWheelsTV with a written post. For this first review, we chose something really different, because we chose a mod from Assetto Corsa, which at the moment is not available for download. So AGU or AGU modding released recently this amazing BMW M6 GT3 for Assetto Corsa, but after some complaints and some remarks on their Facebook page, where the downloads of their content are available, they decided, the guy there, the owner there, the main responsible, I would call it like this, has decided to remove the mod till further notice. However, we are not we have our own policy. In this video at OnWheelsTV, there's also a link to a post where we explain our policy about the contents we publish, regardless to the origin and regardless to if they have ripped parts or if they were ripped in total. We have a strict policy about that. We also will make that link available for you to watch. And in these reviews that we are doing from now on, we also publish in the voting, there is also an area for originality. So for if the mod is strictly from scratch or uses parts from other mods or contents from other mods. So that is also in the equation here. Speaking about the mod is not available for download. Maybe after this video the guy changes his mind. We hope so, because this content is really, for users, is really good, and therefore our review starts in a positive way. Otherwise it wouldn't be here, because we don't review bad stuff. So that is something mandatory for our reviews. The content must be good, and that is the fact here. So this is the BMW M6 GT3 for Assetto Corsa. We drove this car at the Nürburgring, in the Kuno Simulazione track, and we definitely did enjoy very much this content. On track, when driving, the car felt really easy to drive. At times we were thinking that we were slow in the car, but then watching the lap times we realized, and when also comparing it to another car that we also will be bringing to this video on at a later stage, after that comparison we did acknowledge that this car would be a really good simulation of the real car, also in terms of the lap times, compared to the previous version of the car in this specific championship, or in this specific type of championship. Well, basically the first item we give an opinion about is the item, or is the area of graphics. And in terms of the graphics, we did really enjoy this content. The car looks really good, both from the outside or on the inside. The inside of the car doesn't have, though, the same top of the line quality that we recognize in the original Kuno Simulazione contents or in some other third-party contents, but we cannot criticize it also. So we do enjoy the car from the inside. We really enjoy the car from the outside. You can know more about this area. We explain it a little bit more on our written post. The second area is the physics. Well, and in the physics we did really enjoy this car. It does really act like a GT3 car from a latest generation GT3 car should act. So it's not a difficult car to drive. These cars are known by being easy to drive. That's why so many amateur drivers are entering real racing series with the GT3 cars. And in this virtual simulation, the car feels really easy to drive. We did enjoy everything on the performance of this car on track. We don't know to what level of expertise is the rating for AGU modding, but well, they have done a really good work here, and the physics of the car works really well. This is definitely one good car to enjoy on the Assetto Corsa sim. Hopefully they will put this mod available for you guys, but the physics definitely enjoyed us very much in this car. Then there's the area of originality, and in terms of originality, well, we didn't know because we were not too much into the comments that were made when the mod was released. So we also were not able to talk to the guy who really created the mod, to know if he worked with content from other people to develop his overall release. Probably he did have used stuff from other people, but also worked a lot in some stuff himself. But we have no data about that because we didn't talk to him. And even if we did, sometimes these guys don't tell us if they used some stuff from someone or not. Sometimes they do. So we are going to vote this area in the same way that we vote a car that is not 100% original. And if we are not being fair with that, well, too bad. But we have to publish based on what we know, and that's how we will vote here. Accordingly, we will vote the same way in the following area, which is what's new. What's new is when you use content from parts of content from other people for a mod or for a track, but then you also introduce new stuff. So you had your own value to the release. So by the same reasons that made our vote for the previous area, we will vote exactly the same way here, because we didn't know if stuff from other people was used, and we also don't know what was new introduced because we had no contact with the modder. And this will happen a lot of times in our releases, especially when talking about third-party ones. Well, there are other areas, and the final area, not yet the last one we will approach here, but the final area is our opinion about a content which is a car when compared with the previous version of that car for the specific class where this simulation is included. So this is a GT3 car, and being the case that in real life, and probably also here in sim racing, this car, this M6 GT3 replaces, as it does in real life, the Z4 GT3, we decided to bring to the equation the available BMW Z4 GT3 available on Assetto Corsa, and tell you about what we think about this latest generation release, although they are from two different brands, two different entities, I will call them like this. So this car, it felt easier to drive than this Z4 GT3. We didn't have that much pleasure driving the M6 GT3 as we did driving the Z4 GT3. The Z4 GT3 involves you a lot more in the driving. The M6 is basically, we feel like driving a limo. But when we see the lap times, this M6 is up to 2 seconds faster than the Z4, which is probably the same, more or less the same difference that these cars will have in real life in terms of lap times. I'm not saying this for sure, I don't have data. I could look for it, but I didn't look. But this car is 2 seconds faster at least than the Z4 GT3, so in terms of a step up, it does seem coherent, and therefore we are gonna rate it good in this area of our voting. Then there's the AI performance, and we drove for around 20 laps in a simulated race. You won't see footage of it using AI. Well, it didn't feel too much different than the AI does usually do on the sim, so we are gonna rate it averagely good. in terms of AI. And then there's also the final matter, which is not the final in our order, but it will be the final here, which is performance in the sim. So in this area we comment about how the mod works when using all the technical capabilities available in the sim. And in this area we are going to fairly or unfairly also vote it using the same reasoning that we used for those two other areas of the originality and what's new. And so everything seems to be working really well, but we don't know if the modder used all the available tools. Some of them don't have all the available tools, because for that we do believe, at least it happens with other sims, we do believe that the sim racing brand itself has to provide all the tools. So we don't believe he does have all the tools. So in that matter, being fair or unfair, we are going to vote in the same way, which is more or less a midterm voting in this area. And when we said it was the final area, small mistake, it wasn't. This one now is the final area, which is the sounds. This is only going to be voted in terms of mods, not in terms of tracks, for obvious reasons. In terms of the sounds, we did enjoy the sound of this BMW M6 GT3. We do acknowledge, however, that it can improve significantly, but we did enjoy basically the sound of the M6 GT3. We are going to rate it average, as an average good sound, obviously, and mentioning this once again, recognizing that it can improve significantly. So overall, this release, I would say that for an amateur modding brand or person, I don't know how many people worked in this release, I would rate this as a good mod for Assetto Corsa. Good graphics, good physics, good handling of the car, probably making some use of stuff already existent from other people and probably also from Kunos, I don't know, but for sure with specific work to develop his own release. The car really works well on track, and it does look faster than the Z4 GT3, although the Z4 GT3 provides more pleasure. So overall, I would advise you to download when the mod is available again. Of course, if it does become available, I would advise you to download this BMW M6 GT3 for Assetto Corsa. Bye bye everyone.